No matter how old you are, your inner child is always with you. In fact, as your body gets older, your inner child returns to remind you that life is a cycle, and death is just a transition. Your inner child, especially the one who remembers your true interdimensional self, maintains your connection with the higher dimensions. Whereas, your transitional teen and your responsible adult is mainly focused in the world outside of your body, your inner child remembers that the portal to your higher dimensional self is within your body, within your high heart and within your highest state of consciousness. Of course, your inner child may not understand your high heart or your states of consciousness. However, your inner child does remember the feeling of emotions as they course through your body, and the difference between doing your chores and seeing faces in the clouds. In fact, your inner child is the you that takes the time to look into the sky, talk to the family dog or cat, and most of all, your inner child takes the time to play. We ask you all to remember how you played when you were a child. Now, connect the dots to see if you still play in that same manner, or if you play at all. We take a moment now to explain what we mean by the term, play. Mostly, what we mean is that you use your imagination to create the reality that you want to experience. Now, is not that not exactly what you are all trying to do now? We see that many of you are trying to create the reality that you wish to experience, but we do not see many of you playing within that reality. Instead, there is much working hard, making sacrifices, doing what makes the most money instead of what you really want to do, and coming home exhausted after a hard day's work and a long drive in traffic. That scenario is definitely not play. However, the third dimension is not an easy resonance of reality, and your adult self has to work hard to survive and maybe even thrive there. But something important has just occurred. You have connected with the connections of your inner child. By that we mean that you have connected with your inner child who is still connected with your higher self. In this manner, your inner child is not just your past. Now, your inner child is a bridge to your higher self. However, can you find the time to connect with that bridge? The answer for some of you is no, I cannot find that time. We are happy to remind you that time is an illusion of the third and fourth dimension. Therefore, you do not need to find the time, but you do need to remember your childhood imagination. When you think in terms of using your imagination, you do not need to find the time because imagination is a fifth-dimensional construct. A construct is a theory, paradigm, and/or idea. You, in cooperation with your inner child, can change your theory that you were brainwashed to believe. You can remember who or what made you believe that you had to work hard to make money to be happy. Then, remember why you believed that frightening indoctrination over the loving inner message of your own inner child. As you are all aware, the third dimension is filled with messages from what you should buy to look good enough, to what you should eat to feel good enough, to what you should wear to look good enough, and the list goes on and on. All of these messages put your attention outside of you and away from the innate knowing that your own inner child is protecting you deep inside your fifth-dimensional consciousness. Your fifth-dimensional consciousness is the you who recognized, accepted, and remembered your many interdimensional experiences. As you remember more and more of your interdimensional experiences, which you experience inside of yourself, you find the innate, inner power, intuition, wisdom and love that your inner child had been protecting for you as you grew up. You are all at the cusp of great change, and as you have hopefully learned, change must always begin with yourself. Fortunately, just by acknowledging the interdimensional experiences of your own inner child, you have set an immense inner change into motion. The advantage of an inner change is that your outer, daily life does not need to change until, one day, when your wounded ego is not looking, you do, think, try, say, remember, that you are an interdimensional being. At first, you may not understand what that means, but if you play with your inner child you will remember the true innocence of remembering the truth. You, our beloved interdimensional beings who are wearing third and fourth dimensional earth vessels, you are beginning to remember who you always were, but forgot. How will your life change when you fully remember your true self? We are happy to share that you can remember how you chose your present incarnation to be before you took this embodiment. You can remember where you got lost along the way, and most important, your own inner child can direct you to your own higher self. Your higher self is you, but in a higher dimensional reality. Just as you can perceive the lay of the land from a high tower, you can perceive the history of yourself from a higher state of consciousness. However, you do not need to earn this higher consciousness, because your inner child never forgot. Yes, you likely forgot your inner child, but your inner child never forgot you. When you did not love your inner child, he or she was sad and cried. When you ignored your inner child, he or she acted out to get your attention. And, when you did not love your inner child, you did not feel loved. Unfortunately, the third dimension is a very difficult reality, and many of you took past life issues to facilitate your ascension. Therefore, you found yourself with unloving, missing, or even cruel parents, with no parents, or with parents who only saw the you they want you to be, while they ignored the you that you were. The list of why our brave volunteers got lost within their earthly incarnation goes on and on. We, or you, cannot change what is known on your planet as the past, but we can remind you that you were never alone. We, your galactic family, were always with you. Your inner child has not forgotten that fact. However, you have forgotten how to listen to your inner child. Therefore, we, your galactic family, say to you, our dear emissaries to assist Gaia, take the time to listen to your inner child. Take the time to play with your inner child. And most important, take the now to be your inner child. Then you can remember the many interdimensional experiences that you had as a child, before you forgot to remember. Blessings, we are the Arcturians.